All right, we'll go ahead and get started on the meeting. Let's do a roll call. We have new members.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we got John.
Here.
Ben.
Here.
Jeff.
Here.
Jim.
Here.
Brian.
Here. Awesome. Thanks. First item is January 13th and 27th agendas. You'll notice that there's no agenda for the 27th, so it's not on yet. There's not even a lot on the 13th for next week. Really, the only thing is the library. Renewing our agreement with the library. So that's something we'll do on Tuesday. Now we have the resolution to set the public hearing for Langham's to bring that back. So we'll set that on Tuesday night. And then we've got a new member of the Board of Adjustments because our former member is now a council member.
Great. We have somebody identified.
Yes, we do. Yes. So yeah, Ben got called up to the bigs. Just hoping I can help the team meet their goals, keep my head down. So yeah, so that's, I guess anything else that anybody, sees that's not on there that thinks should be on there. Sidelight here, did get totals back from Salvation Army.
Okay.
And Epworth came in at $1,185.71. Shasta came in at $826.61. Dyersville came in at $327.
What's going on in the field of dreams, man?
All the money's going to the baseball field, I guess.
Yeah,
but sidelight to that, when I talked to Captain Dave, he mentioned that Shelley Gassman, who is the mayor in Epworth, had put a check in the kettle for either $500 or $700. So when you look at it, we lost by $350. Our collecting efforts were better.
Yeah.
Just looking for John to step up.
Yeah, I don't know why.
What's
that? Talked about
the mayor should have been better.
That would just be tacky to do the same.
We didn't have a heads up on that. We could have. Where were you?
So anyway, so we will be relinquishing the trophy.
He was in it this minute.
She wanted to get,
Okay.
which good for her, good for the
Good for
Salvation
them.
Army. $2,300
Great.
earned for them that they wouldn't have before they started this program. So he's very happy with how this is going.
Good.
So.
Boy, Fairway is a great place to stay.
Yeah, it
There's
is.
a ton. Saturday morning at Fairway, almost traffic. Sorry, Jeff, but
Sorry.
there was a lot of there was a lot of traffic.
Might be too much.
Dyersville should be the Hy-Vee out there now.
If you could just.
That would be amazing.
And then switch them back out.
Can I have the kettle for 2 hours?
No, this is your cat.
Yeah.
That's all I get to ring in that 3 days.
All right, we'll shift back to the agenda, department head discussion. Stacy?
I don't have a lot. One of the things I'm working on is getting new lights on our backboard. We started getting more and more complaints a couple months ago on how dark it was back there from our pickleball players. Turns out they're right. Like a bunch of they're about 10, 11 years old. I guess I thought LED lights were good for a long time and whatever, but it turns out like within the LED light itself, there's many little bulbs. Half of the little bulbs in a lot of the things are completely out.
Interesting.
So it's long overdue. I had companies come in, do light tests. It's dark. They're not wrong. And so anyway, so the lights are in. We're just waiting for the guards over the lights, so that we can get those replaced.
Okay.
To hopefully make that
Another decade.
better place, for our pickleball players, but everyone else, right? It's dark for. So that's one of the main things. I think I told you guys we got our scrubber, so we've been playing with that bad boy. There's some things we're still learning logistic wise with it, but scrubbed the floors a lot more in the past month and a half than we have the past
Good.
I can't tell if she likes it. She called it a bad boy.
It is.
It's a good
Bad boy.
It's a good bad boy. And then lastly, we're having an open house on Saturday, this Saturday. It's kind of a place for people to come, old members, new members, doesn't matter, just kind of see what we have to offer. So we're kind of just piecing everything out, going through the weight room, showing off the sim, doing mini classes, that kind of stuff, just a place for people to ask questions. So we'll see how that goes.
What's the
But
time of that again?
7:30 to 9:30. Morning.
The, morning come along.
I am meeting with Mike next week. He is on vacation until Tuesday, so he told me after Tuesday. I will have an answer for you at that time, which means I won't for the council meeting, but yeah, so, I mean, he always said after the holidays, so I'm not surprised by the lack of knowing, but yeah, so we'll see. Honestly, I don't know. I would like to for sure get the lights done before they do it, simply because we're gonna have to close something at some point. And if I close the 3 pickleball courts on this side, I'm already gonna get enough heat. It's very common for us to have all 6 courts going at one time, and people still waiting. That, I don't know. I'm also gonna throw in the question, is there any way you'll do this overnight? I don't know if I'll have any luck with that. But I don't know.
He
Gonna have to be strategic
understands
about it regardless, but
least disruption. He
Yeah, correct.
understands that.
Correct.
Yeah.
and that's the reason we did the first part. They learned a lot on the first part to see what they could do to be more efficient on the second. So none of this is like a surprise. We knew this going in from the beginning, that the bigger side was going to be, for me, a tougher pill to swallow in terms of closing it really at all. So yeah, I'll have a better answer
No, all
next
good.
week.
Appreciate it. It's just temporary. I mean,
Yeah, don't forget it's
it'll be
quick.
nice when it's finished.
It will,
It's like
it will.
we wanna
I think
get
the
ready.
backside I like, I think
Yeah, it
everyone
looks
has
really
liked
nice.
that has seen it, so.
Anything else,
We got-
Casey? Nope. All right. Dean?
Sure. I don't know if you want to hear the news that I have, but I mean, yeah, the month of December has been very problematic for us. So we did have one well go down on us. We currently have that back operational, but not in the system, just because we're waiting to get bacteria tests back and testing negative for everything. So currently trying to get that done. Hopefully by the end of the week here, we can put that back in operation, back in the system. Wastewater plant, we actually had 2 sludge pumps go bad out there. They are currently down in Cedar Rapids getting work done. Thunder Ridge, we got a pump down over there that we just received parts on today or yesterday. So hopefully we can get that back in operation next week. And then currently the main lift station electric pump has one of the pumps for that lift station. So yeah, it's been a bad one. Yeah. So I mean,
Glad you got healthy to make it to the meeting.
just some of the things that we experienced, but yeah, it's the month of December has just been one thing after another, and it's definitely going to be a costly one. So it's things that are hard to budget for, but definitely try to plan when I am budgeting for these unexpected items. So yeah, hopefully we can get through.
Was it kind of like at its end of its life cycle or?
No. No, as a matter of fact, they found a short in the wiring, and that's what it was on well 3.
Well,
As part
the first one that you talked
the
about.
well number 2, the water, yeah, our water, drinking water. As far as the wastewater plant, the sludge pumps out there, I mean, we're only on year 4 or 5 out there. So I mean, end of life expectancy, no, not necessarily.
Ernie knows
that No, warranty's off on all that stuff. I'm hoping I can work with the contractor on well 2, considering we did 2 years ago. So hopefully, I mean, they seem like a really reliable contractor. I mean, we just started working with them on that well when we had that one pulled, because the results we got from the contractor we were working with on well 3 that time were real promising. But this Northway came in, I gave them a call, they came in, they were very responsive and pretty knowledgeable, and actually gave me a lot of knowledge on things as well. So, but very responsive when we called them. That well went down on a Friday. I called them on a Monday morning. They were there by probably 9:30, 10 o'clock with a crew.
Great.
And by the end of the day, they had that thing pulled. By the end of the next day, they had it drop back in. Yeah, very responsive company, very reliable to work with. I was more than happy to work with them on that, so. Still, have to sit down and talk to them about, what's gonna be the cost on that wiring, yeah. Other than that, as far as, an update on, Kelly Oak, the pavilion out there, it looks like, the concrete contractors pretty much got all the foundation in. It appears to be backfilled. There's a little bit of dirt that's left on site in the parking lot that I asked them to keep there, that they can work around the north and the west side of that, rather than calling that fill soil off site. So, yeah, I'm sure that's to be done at a later date, probably when it freezes, now that it's as muddy as it is. So, yeah. Hopefully that's all I got for you. And yes, I am aware of a street light that is out on Birds Road down here by D&D Auto. So I gotta get that ordered.
Marcy had talked to you about what she's bringing up here.
Yep, absolutely.
We've had a request about somebody purchasing land that is owned by the city.
Yep, for sure. I think there's been a question whether that was an easement right away, that, that's just part of the city right away there. I think, basically how we had that, how that was identified.
Get us oriented a little bit.
So,
Right by the police department. If you go by the fire department, that entrance of Tennis Lane would be just.
this is Royal Oak.
North of the railroad track.
I'm sorry, North Railroad track.
This is.
I'm sorry, yeah.
So there's Deerwood. And then Skylar
Yeah.
back here.
Yeah.
So this gentleman just purchased this property and he would like to purchase or like to have this piece.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
What was that an easement for?
So it was never an easement, it was a right of way. I think it's real similar to if we bounce to the south side of the railroad tracks to the property, Ray Stevens property, how they had those dedicated.
Was an alley or a potential
Probably little
street?
alleys or streets, future streets or alleys, whatever they may be.
Gotcha.
And I think that's a very similar situation up there.
So Dean and I kind of mapped this out to see about how many, it was about 2,100 square feet. So I just told him that we would, take it to council and discuss it.
We have no need or purpose for it, right?
There's not no purpose in need, no, absolutely
If
not.
there's anything we can,
At one point in time, there used to be an old well up there, right about where the cursor's at. Actually, probably to the east a little bit, Marcy, to the right a little bit. Yeah, in that lot right there, there used to be an old well up in there. That's why we own that property there as well. But there is a water, a main that goes through and some storm sewer that goes through there, so.
Do we that land? What do they basically maintain it now?
Somebody else is maintaining it, we're not.
Common law maintenance.
Sheds on it or something.
Right.
I think that's a trailer parked on the one that's, our property to the south of the highlighted blue.
So that's his property, we just jet in.
correct. Yeah, we've got that little
Just
use
this.
that
Just remind me, did we establish a precedent when we did whatever we did with McAndrew property? We had a calculation or something?
I think we
Sold
did.
it back to them.
I think it was $1.
A few dollars or
Oh,
something.
no, that's what we did with Dark.
With Dartbird as well. I think both of them we.
Let's use that.
I don't
Yeah,
Just use that same model.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a low
2100.
cost.
It was like 2,100, yeah, I have it on a different map that I.
Yeah, that's, I think. Fine.
And I kind of told him that we had to come up with a figure and that also, we need to pay the legal
Yeah,
costs.
does that probably have to be surveyed and titled and whatever, and then I'll be down.
Yeah, there'll have to be he'll have to come up with a purchase agreement. All that stuff, so I can go ahead and contact him and let him know.
We're this same model that we used with Dartbird.
And there's no use to us?
No, I mean, it's basically a property that's not gonna be of any value to us.
I will let him know.
Sounds good. Any questions for Dean? All right,
Thanks, Keith.
thanks, Dean. Chief, you're up.
Yeah, so this next council meeting, you guys are gonna get my reports for the end of the year. You're gonna get a lot of numbers thrown at you, or like it or not, just so you have it. for your enjoyment. So you should get that hopefully within the next couple of days. We'll get Marcy to put it on board doc so you guys can look at it and everything. The one thing I wanted to talk about is the police officer hire recommendation. You know, Officer Gibson went to. Sad to see him go. However, we got to move on. So we put out for the police officer hire. The deadline was December 29th. So with that being said, since then we got 2 certified officers, 1 uncertified officer. The 1 certified officer went to another city, so it wasn't an option. And then, so it was 1 and 1. We did have interviews on both of them. And I'd like to bring to you guys a recommendation to hire the 1 certified officer. With that being said, this individual is a local law enforcement officer, has 3 years experience, or approximately 3 years experience. So the one caveat is he's under contract with this other agency for I believe it's going to be $11,099.43. We've done these contracts before where we put him on a 4-year contract where it would be paid off after 4 years of him being here. And so I'd like to bring that recommendation to you guys on Tuesday and bring him in, get him sworn in. And he wouldn't be starting right away. Just he'd have to put in his notice for that. But I'd like to get it going at least.
What's the cost to take someone to the certification school?
Yeah, so it's going to be approximately about 20,000 ish in that ballpark range. So we'll be further off ahead by going this route. And especially you got the certification route, the training's done. He has some right time and everything with this agency. He'll fit right in. We'll just have to train him up a little bit and get him on the road. But I think it would be a good hire.
Like the 11,000, we have to kind of buy this person's contract.
We would be buying that contract out from another agency.
So spend 11,000 on that versus 20,000 to.
Correct.
We've done it.
And the caveat to that is you got to send them for 4 months. It's 16 weeks to the academy. Then once you get them back, you know, if it's somebody uncertified, literally have to train them all over again. I mean, you're looking at 6 to 8 months before, you know,
Somebody's operational.
So this would be a better route.
And we've done this a couple times.
We have done this.
That contract stays with us for 4 years?
Correct. That's what I recommend is 4 years, and that individual is good with it.
And if he's not, then he has to pay us back then.
That's correct.
How's that prorated?
It is prorated. It goes by 4 years. It's 75, 50, 25. Yeah. Yep. So if he stays 2 years, he owes half that back. He stays, 3 years, he only owes a quarter of it back. So yes, it is prorated. Yep. And I'll have that contract for you guys next week. For you guys to be able to see it. I'll put it in the board docs and you guys will be able to see all that stuff, what it would look like. I just basically looking for, I guess, to go ahead to go forward, bring it forward, have him come in, get sworn in, and you guys be able to look at that.
I'm good with that.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Other than that, that's about all I got for you.
Thunder Valley Drive, zoning. We've talked about this before, and I can't remember exactly where we landed on this with, whether it's spot zoning or C2. I think it's all C1 over there. So this is the Dartford Vive, that stretch of road. And I'm bringing it back because I kind of feel like we did talk about this and we decided since all of the Callahan property is C2, do we need to do C2 on both sides or not?
And what was the main difference between C1s?
Yeah, that's one of I can never
My
remember.
understanding of that difference would be things that are more heavier work or traffic flow. So I think that things that are excluded would be like banks, drive-through restaurants, those things would be excluded in like C1, I believe.
I think we looked at it for that car wash when they were
Yeah.
interested in possibly for a car wash, but it didn't.
Is the developer asking for this or are we?
I think there was a discussion with the developer, that we were looking at whether it works for us as a city to make that change or?
I do think when Jeff and I spoke with Mr. Slavic, he felt like it wasn't as marketable as only C1.
Yeah.
And he brought up the comments like, well, you're willing to potentially spot zone a C2 for a particular project. So that was definitely feedback that he had. Oh, yeah, this is an important.
That's what it was. He had some.
The
Hotel.
the iffy nature of trying to get something rezoned as a spot rezone, that disappeared.
So the concern not, the reason we wouldn't do it would be because of the potential higher traffic of these
Higher
types of-
traffic, commercial
I think,
businesses.
yeah, the type of business, so like it could be a gas station or hotel or fast food restaurant.
I think that's what it started when
Where
we
there's-
was looking at the hotel.
So do we have concerns about the neighbors to the north? I know that they're particular about noise and lights and
Yeah, there was a lot of concern about having like fast food drive-through.
Neon signs.
Neon signs, lights on all night.
Right.
And bright.
But we've got the sign ordinance. I think we've controlled some of the lighting and
Yeah.
signage issues would apply citywide.
And we could require
We could look at it.
So Jumbo right now is in there right now.
Right,
yeah.
In that C1. That McDonald's would require C2.
correct.
Just I'm trying to.
Yeah.
We should probably have, when
Or bank-
we come back to actually vote on it or something, we should probably, or we go back to zoning, I suppose. We should just have C1 and 2 side by side and share the differences that are listed.
Yeah.
So we understand the differences.
sort of kind of accessing.
Yeah, I'm
I
not.
don't necessarily opposed to it, I just wanna make sure we address.
There's something on.
The only
there.
other thing that I would ask,
Going through the
maybe we have to
redoing
go
it all.
into zoning. But what was the original rationale as to why we zoned it C1? And why we zoned other stuff C2? I mean, that's where Alex's business is in that C1 area. What was the thought process at that time? What were we trying to achieve? Then we could evaluate if that still makes sense or not.
I think it's definitely a conversation we should have, especially if the developer is asking.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily just write a blank check for it, let's investigate.
Right. But C2 is a broader zone, so it's potentially brings more opportunity.
Right.
To look at, pull it out.
Trying to see if we can find it.
I would say the one, I'm not. Sounds. Oh, that's right, we are getting.
Yeah. And I
What's
was
this
actually
come out of
reading through it
Oh, the
5
same.
hours ago.
So what did it say?
I don't remember exactly which one, what was coming out of there.
I have zoning map, I don't have. It's on the website. I think.
I know that they sent me their final,
But our zoning definitions aren't on the website, their zoning.
I don't believe so.
Ben, had zoning had any discussions about C1 versus C2 in this particular area in the recent past?
I didn't have anything to do with zoning.
Okay. Right, Board of Adjustments. Zoning requests. Well. There you go. All right.
C2.
You get them
Here we
side by
go.
side,
Now we're cooking.
get them side by side.
I don't know.
All right.
Need a bigger TV?
Maybe.
Said every man, always.
Eat store.
Red breakfasts.
We zoom this up.
Yeah.
You have to make it a little
Car
smaller.
car wash, catering,
So they
commercial greenhouse.
Right.
So you can. So C1, interestingly, Jim says restaurant without drive-through. Restaurant without drive-through,
So it
so.
also says with restaurant with drive.
Oh, there it is.
C2's on the right, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that property is over here on the left as is. So like on C2, again, the gas station,
So both of those options would, they would be available, allowable.
the hotel, that's where this really did start, was if we were gonna do spot zoning for the hotel. When the hotel went from being over in Jim Conlon's property
To
to be on, he
here,
was, they were looking at on Thunder Valley, so.
Vehicle sales.
Recreational vehicles.
Take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
I don't see apartments on C2 on what you got pulled up there. What I got pulled up, mine shows C2 with apartments.
That would be old.
It's very old.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
Apartments are not.
Cause they're not even.
Apartments are only allowed by exception through Board of Adjustment. Anymore,
Must be old.
yeah. Yeah,
I think we're just looking for the list that gives
Yeah.
it, so. So you can see there's quite a bit more. In C2.
yeah, which is probably the nature of Slavic's comment.
Right. But once you make it C2, then that's all available.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't, there's one in particular item that I see that I don't think would fit in well, and that's like a mini storage unit.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Store, great. Patch housing.
Does change the dynamic a little bit, street. Again, it's like, if it's possible to go back to when we actually created the C1 and C2. And see if there's any discussion in zoning minutes and stuff as the rationale. As to how things landed there. I mean,
Well, years and years and years and years ago, when I was on zoning, we were just developing it. And I think it was literally, I mean, I just remember trying to say, okay, trying to guess what the future's gonna look like.
Yep.
And guess what you wanna kind of lump together.
right,
With, I don't wanna say there's no rhyme or reason to it, but it was really a dart against the dartboard.
Put that here, put that there.
Trying to make it make as much sense as possible, but
So rather than changing it from C1 to C2, is it better to say, let's take some of that stuff out of C2 and add it to the allowable items in C1?
right, you made a ghastly.
well, I don't know that do we really want to do that without like. A rigorous rationale, it's like,
Oh, I think this is just, I don't know, like, tonight we're just going, slide it
Yeah,
over.
yeah, not, yeah.
Slide it over. No, I think we need further discussion on this. And again, with a nod towards trying to help to have the land develop, but, the way we would prefer it to be developed instead of just wild, wild west.
So do we wanna look at this after we look at the changes to, or that are being proposed to C1 and C2 and then revisit this? Something we wanna.
The zoning definitions of that,
Yeah.
we should have that on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Then do we wanna relook at it if?
Yeah, I don't think we're at a point here to kind of just make decisions. I think we're all in agreement. This needs further discussion.
Yeah, 100%.
And maybe we can put some sort of a synopsis together of what that discussion looks like.
So would it make sense to reach out to Mr. Slavik and say, hey, what things specifically are you? Like you're getting bites on, but you can't close it because it's, I mean.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're guessing what it means.
Yeah.
What's.
Right.
You leave it at C1 and then later down the road, if he comes and says, hey, maybe that could move over to C1.
but that
Can I add?
particular example, I think is.
I'm just thinking, if you guys haven't received like a question, like, can we make this a C2 outside of that one hotel?
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of strings you gotta go through with this city, so like, is this that big of a problem? If somebody comes in and says, hey, I want to be a C2, like,
Well,
they're not even asking you had
The developer kind of had a comment to these two that.
Wanted to make it more marketable. He's having trouble moving the properties.
Right.
Sure.
Now we came through the crazy COVID time where,
Yeah.
commercial real estate, all the stuff that went with that.
Developers kind of come to us saying, hey, is there anything we can do?
Yeah, but a new business isn't coming and saying, can you help me out?
Well, it didn't because it didn't want to go through the process, right?
Yeah, correct. That's what.
Is it just go on?
Go to the business.
But there's been discussion, like, we on.
Just saying, it doesn't seem like the hard guarantee.
It's the years back, or I say,
If you're gonna spend $5 million.
voice to.
So on.
That was more on the apartments, not the C1.
So it's just kind of what you just wanted to, well, from start to finish, where. How we got.
Okay, good. So put this on for work session in February. Yep.
So.
And we'd like to maybe get some background from planning and zoning and maybe Slavic.
If there is any in the planning and zoning archive as to the rationale.
Do one of you two kind of want to maybe reach out to Slavic as you guys had the discussion with them?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
You got it, it's fine.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, I do. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I'll talk to Jackie on the planning and zoning.
Yeah, I know she's working hard on that. Hopefully gonna have that for us on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep. Anything else? The urban renewal and talking a little bit about.
So I believe my understanding is that the urban renewal plan is only good for a certain period of time. And you put the projects that you want to work on in that plan, and that it's about to expire. And so we need to look at the future of what types of projects or things do we want to put into the UR amendment. I know that one of the items was, I know it's not community heart and soul anymore, but putting some, if we wanted to down the road, help them with some startup funds or getting going, we would need to add them to the UR plan as kind of a project or something that we want to work on. So I think that there's some additional notes in your, I'm not at a session where I'm logged in to see it. So if you want to look at the notes that were in there. I think that there was a kind of and then I kind of started a list that might be out there. I know that the community heart and soul was one of them. We did this similar thing with the PEDC when we said, okay, we're going to give them 50,000. We added that to the UR plan, and then we could tip for it.
The only thing out here is the existing UR plan.
Is there anything in the notes on the
No.
little side over here? The little guy that's over here on your screen?
No.
You have those on your screen?
The one you said doesn't know.
No,
This is the active one, so.
So like currently from June of 2022, we had Pasta Community Center Improvement Project. We had Pasta Street, Birch Road Turn Lane projects in there, which now we would take these out, wouldn't we?
yeah, they're
We had talked, and I had talked about keeping the community center in as far as the
Parking lot.
physical address. Not so much parking lot as much as Spiegel, depending on what's.
Okay.
That could possibly be something for TIF funding.
Okay. Dollar General store.
Yeah, we can take those out because those are done and we can determine what new projects. So I just, I think, I don't know if,
But what we want to add in.
but things like, I don't know if Cap Drive or, the water tower, if that, any of that could be put in
I
there.
don't know if,
How often does this have to get renewed?
I think isn't it good for like 4 years?
well, the date on this last one is the June 2022.
so it would be 4 years if it was June 26.
So by June this year, so I would guess, start with so we approve it before the new fiscal year maybe.
Yep, probably.
So
But I think, yeah, we need to put Cap Drive in there, right?
Cap Drive.
So it isn't like we have to do anything with it.
Correct.
We can't.
could, like,
We want to have
What's
every,
eligible.
we want to
We
have,
can't, if it's not in there, we can't.
yeah, we
Correct.
want to have as much in there that might be possible.
Yes.
So we need to come up with what that list looks like.
Correct.
So right now, we're looking at Cap Drive. Hometown Dreams.
And I know that she had reached out a while back to Amy Bjork, so that's because it'll have to go through that whole process. The legal process of putting a new one out there, so I can, follow up with Amy as well. I'm not sure if they spoke, and I know that there's a list of projects that she had kind of like been looking at. So,
And whatever comes off our 2-year plan to go back and look at it.
good there, at least for now. Bulk item pickup, the reason that's on there is we are trying to not have to call the city police to visit any properties, to be very generic, that are abusing the large item pickup. And do we want to make any changes? The problem is if you make a change, again, based on really one property, you make the change for everybody. You know, there are issues with it, you know, when you see it, and this year there were car bumpers and fenders and just things that should not be out there for the free city pickup. Chief, you
Yeah,
want to
Mayor,
weigh in on that a little?
Yeah, so I mean, do we really want to, do we want to build an ordinance to allow only so much bulk coming from a residence? Or not having somebody bring junk or garbage from one area to a residence just to get rid of it? That's the question, what I need to hear, I guess, if you want me to start looking into an ordinance to only allow so much bulk items can be at your house, or do we not just want to have just, you cannot bring junk from one place and have it picked up at a residence just to
I
get rid
believe
of it?
that's already in there, isn't it?
It's vague, but
So I think household items is a big.
yeah.
Because car parts aren't.
Have we, I know we've had, how.
We've had a conversation.
How in-depth these conversations gone with this?
How in depth? As in with the homeowner, we had problems. We've had multiple conversations, yes.
And they know our position, they can't do this.
That's correct.
And how is their, what's their stance?
Their stance was, it wasn't them, it was a family member that was doing it. And
Family member that lives at.
that, correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
So,
both.
So it's still.
And they know it's not right. And they said, basically, talk to him. So we did talk to that individual, and basically it was, yeah, won't do it again. And now, are we gonna?
my perspective on this. Warning, we haven't done that. And then next year at this time, we take them out of said perk for doing it.
We like to exclude a particular property or.
Yeah, that's,
particular property.
we're just, according to Doug's notes, that's something we could do.
Yes. You can.
And not necessarily that property, that'd be that property owner, because
Correct.
they sell their house, whatever, we don't want to go down that path. Instead of changing the world for one person, let's
Correct.
change the world,
Yes.
let's change that person's one person.
I agree.
We could still allow for them to purchase stickers for particular things.
Sure,
That
I just, but
particular
I think it's, let's put some teeth in it. I think we've been dealing with,
They
we've
just
been
don't do
dealing with
amnesty
this
day.
for years.
Because I think the amenity as far as the city, it's very well.
That's great.
Yes,
Yeah.
people love it.
So, I know there's a cost to the city to do it, but I think the goodwill that comes out of it is worthwhile.
So that'd be my vote is written notice, warning. Or we want to just go straight to,
No, I think.
No, I think that's good.
Yeah, I think we,
give them an option to try to fix it.
because then it takes it out, okay, then you guys figure it out.
do you want to rate something up?
Yeah, so last time this occurred, they brought in their own lawyer litigation issue. So I think we would have to bring our city attorney into possibly, if it were to come to warnings,
Or a
or,
warning?
well, I
They didn't get-
mean, we could do it, but they brought in their lawyers also last time,
And to argue,
Sorry.
to argue what?
that we were harassing them.
Is there something as simple as?
That was like a couple of years ago, if you don't remember, yeah.
Your.
So that's, I mean, I can do it. I absolutely can do it. I just didn't know if you wanted to have Doug write something up for that, that it came from Doug from the city. I can do it too. It's just, they put their teeth into it a little bit, so, you know, that's up to you guys.
But you talked to the homeowner.
We did.
Homeowner said that it's not him, it's somebody else.
It's another family member doing it, yes.
Well, you're the responsible party here, Mr. Holmes.
That's
But yet
correct.
they brought their attorney in,
Yes,
the homeowner did.
yes.
Doesn't make sense to me,
Well,
yeah.
And there is a suspicion of a business being run out of there.
Potentially.
We can't believe.
I don't really want to cost the taxpayers a piastre money on a lawyer to fight one particular thing if we don't.
We can leave it, we can leave it as is, and like I said, usually,
But we could have the letter come from the city council or something that the chief just
I mean,
delivers.
I can do it
This is the
too. I just
one
didn't know if you
council.
wanted
Yeah.
Like,
to.
you got 1 year to do this right.
That's we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there.
Sure.
I mean, right now, like I said, if we don't do anything, we'll just have, the police have gone over.
Yep,
I think last year Eric was on.
every time, yeah.
Eric's usually the one that has to tell them, and they do comply.
Yes,
So it's not that when they're asked to comply, that they go, no, we're leaving it out there.
Do we have photos of?
We.
Yes.
Do you?
no past incidents,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm good with that.
Leave it alone for right now.
Little letter.
For now, and then if they don't comply, send a warning letter.
Here's, let's,
When is amnesty? Summer?
if you're gonna send a letter to one, do we have to send a letter to everyone? Because otherwise you're harassing just that. It still kind of looks like,
Based off of past,
yeah,
I think that's a Doug question, but I think we could send it to one, but that would be a Doug. Ask Doug on that,
I mean, we're based off.
because it's past practice.
Brad, for past.
when do we get April?
Yes.
Lisa.
Is it in the spring?
And I can draw something up right before something comes up, or right before that. When is the next one, Marcy?
April, we don't have a date.
So I mean, we can get something sent to them or given to them before that.
Yeah, I think I would like that.
It does say here you could single out this, you can single out the property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe we can.
We can also, put reminders out on Facebook and on our website about what's allowed and what's not allowed at that same time.
Because we've not had any other issues throughout the city.
No. Not mine. I don't.
My knowledge, there was only one other issue, and that was on call.
That was
The
before.
property has
got.
been,
That was before
the
I was.
property has been currently sold and repurchased. So then people are no longer there, but I know they brought, I think they had some apartments up in Clayton County.
Rust on all their properties.
Bring carpet in and stuff like that, so that one was an issue at the time, but
Recently.
that's the only other one that I can remember.
Maybe when we write for that one too.
Or you're not allowed
Yeah.
to run your business. These are from your personal residence.
Yeah.
The one that's sitting on the lawn in front of.
With Doug's notes on this.
I didn't see Doug's notes or anything, so
Yeah.
I'll give him mercy on that.
He's got, you can single out this property, and if you do so, you should give them notice and an opportunity to be heard
Right.
by the council, so we would want that letter to be out. Not just the week of.
No, right.
We'd want it to be,
Beforehand, yeah.
and in there, just reference, if you would like to address the city council about this, please attend. I mean,
Okay.
then at least they can come and we can hear them. And then we can say, this is not what we want, this is not what the program is designed for.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Oh, meeting's over.
I pushed it out as far as I could, people. But here we come. Budget. Budget.
So we're just gonna kind of go through expenses and I haven't sent this out, but I think I sent it out a while ago with just the expenses, just so that you kind of had an idea, but I have the revenue in there now, but for now, I just want to go through kind of expenses, look it over, ask any questions that you have of the department heads. And then we have the revenue now, or more of the revenue, so I'll get this updated. I'll kind of throw it out there in like a document that makes a little more sense as far as what the revenues are gonna look like, and then also put it in here. And kind of like in the past, like what I've done, if we change the levy, or if we leave the levy, what that impact looks like. It's better than last year. We're not losing any money at least, so that's a good thing. But I just kind of wanted to go through the expenses first, and then the next work session we'll go through some of the other revenue items, but I'll send some information in the meantime. So I guess I'll just kind of cruise through and let me know if you have questions. Everything is pretty typical.
What's that negative on the work comp? Negative 507.
That is, we received a refund back, I believe. Yeah, we get a refund back. Well, we didn't this year, last year, but
Now we're not gonna. for the next
yeah,
couple
this is a previous year's.
Right, okay.
So, yeah. Here's kind of the year to date. I haven't updated it since November, but this is kind of the year to date. That's what it was. It would have been a refund for the work comp premium. They do an audit every year and then we get some money back.
Pay more, we have more, we have
Or pay more like we did this year, yeah.
we have-
Those are insurance companies.
So column E is actual fiscal year that we're in now. I mean, I can't,
Yes,
Actual.
this is,
E.
yeah.
E.
So this is budgeted, what we're budgeted this year.
right,
This is what we're budgeting.
and the actuals that we're looking at
Our
are,
actual is where we're at.
Yes.
does she understand?
Yes, this is 2026 year to date. This is 2027 proposed. I thought that they had the years in here.
You gotta wrap it or something.
This is current 2026. What's that?
You did 2007 and it's changed to numeric.
It's a format. So doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Which ones they are. Perfect.
Okay, so yes, this is the current budget, proposed budget, and then the actual year to date. So when we worked through this, I believe for the wages, I believe we worked in a 4% increase. That's what we put in here. Across the board. And then I just kind of did some estimated increases, kind of basing on what Adam, kind of what he was feeling like things were gonna increase for some of the insurance pieces throughout all the expenses.
We hire a new officer, will they come in at a different rate or we have a set pay scale for years of
We have
experience?
yeah, we do. We have a set pay scale and actually this officer would be coming in lower than what our previous officer would because he's only a 3-year versus a 5-year.
And that could be
Anything maxed out 5 years or more,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
a little bit.
it won't change a whole lot.
No,
I can kind of update that and get with Mike and find
Yeah.
out. I mean, that can change, obviously, all of these numbers here,
right,
you know.
exactly. It's driving all that.
Marcia, I have a question. I'm new to this. So the 26 budget, that is what already is for set for 26.
Yes, so our fiscal
you're
year,
starting
yes, so our
27,
fiscal year, we're always kind of ahead. So right now, we're in fiscal year 26.
All right, so
We're
what,
budgeting for fiscal year
26 is fiscal year 27.
right, so the 26 budget, that's already budgeted for.
Yep.
Correct.
26.
That's our current budget.
Okay.
Where we're at today.
And then 27 will start.
July 1.
For July.
July 1.
July, got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, ask any questions you have. And I'm more than happy to, if you guys want to come in or sit down or look at anything in more detail or we kind of put you between some
People actually know
more
something.
seasoned folks.
We said experience. We didn't say they knew anything. More experience.
Might know something on something. What it is, if we don't know.
For the most part, I don't think Mike really had too much. This is that agreement that we. The only other really ask that Mike had out here.
It was the SunGuard. So, you know, that system, our system where we do our calls or service and basically our system that we run the police department, we go through the sheriff's office. They're going to a new system and we're going to stay on their system. We just don't know the cost of it. We're getting general ideas what it is. That's why I put in that amount. It'll more likely be less than that amount, but I wanted to be safe on it. Just, we don't know.
And our
So-
IT is more expensive now than what we were paying for, so there's a little bit of it too. But the only other really, this was some computers.
Yeah, 2 new squad computers were something we just have to get. Ours are at 4 or 5 years old now. It's just a general maintenance. We have to keep up on that. Those are our working offices essentially. The other thing was the new squad, but that's already budgeted. We take so much out per year with that, Marcy.
Yep, so he'll have enough next year in the
Yes,
reserve
to
account to
Basically,
cover that.
yeah, trade in a vehicle and get a new one.
How often do you trade cars out?
Depends. Normally it's, we try to do one every 3 years is the rotation it goes. So, I mean, we keep our cars for 8-9 years, you know, essentially before one gets traded out. And they tend to get a lot of miles on them.
Does it go off that mileage or how do you go?
It depends. We go off, it depends. We go off, does it still run good? Does it, mileage, how old it is, and where we haven't a lot of problems with it or not. We may take one versus the other to fix that issue.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Was it put in a ditch?
Yeah.
What's that?
Put it in a ditch.
Yeah.
And we're hoping like going forward to like whatever squad he's gonna, trade in for it. Whatever the stuff inside is not gonna go in the new Tahoe. So if they stay with Tahoes, then down the road it will be cheaper because you don't have to. All that stuff. So
Will we be trading a vehicle there, Mike? Yeah, we'll be trading in. I haven't decided either my truck, in which all the guts with that will go into a new truck. So you wouldn't, you just have the tear out and rebuild or whatever on that, or the Charger. I haven't decided which one,
but this we kind of covered to cover everything.
Oh, it's gonna cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the future, maybe it would
Yeah.
switch from a Tahoe to something else. And then some office computers too, if Mike feels that they're needed.
Yeah. As of right now, the office computers are at the, how do you say it, Marcy, their time.
I mean, there's the suggested life by
Suggested
the
life
IT
cycle.
people, and then there's, does it broke, don't fix it, does it really need to be replaced when it's a $1,500 computer?
When you replace all of them, or you just gonna say one?
We replaced, for those, we replaced all of them because we got them all at the same time last time.
So we could
So-
replace two and then.
But we could start a process of.
You can start the process, yeah.
One, and 9 months later, replace another one.
I mean, everything, so our office computers, we use them, don't get me wrong, but our main computers are squad car computers.
Right.
I would be okay with not even replacing the office computers. I mean, they're all running just fine, and maybe just do a couple every so often. But I was told to put it on here, that to replace,
Maybe you-
so.
What do you have?
We have 5 office, we just did one in there, but so 4, we'd be,
Why don't you put this for like 2 and, try to.
we sure
stage
can.
them so we're not.
Or we could just hold off another year and then put on for another 2 next year.
Right.
It's up to you guys on that. I would be comfortable if everything is working fine on our end, that, I was just told to put them on because it was the end of the year cycle for IT.
Yeah, we
or,
get a report each month from Managed Solutions that says, here's where you're at and here's what you should replace, based on what they feel.
The lifespan.
Yeah.
Do they follow up with like we sell this stuff too?
Right.
Is there an idea of shared computers? As a
For the most part, we do, for the most part, like, so I have my own.
You have your own.
And then the sergeant has his own, but the other guys, they share, they share offices and they share computers, yeah, so. Yeah, I mean, we do the best we can down there.
Right.
Yeah, so. Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, I could hold off another
Yeah.
year.
No, but I think
It wouldn't bother me.
I like getting a sort of rotation.
Yeah.
We're not buying all of them at one time.
Let's put it on a 2 to 3 year plan.
Marcy,
to
okay with
replace
that, just
4.
dropping it down to 1 or 2 of them this year and then going for. I'm okay with that
You
too.
wanna do that too? or-
I think 2 this year, 2 next year. No way.
There you go.
Then we can just go to rotation.
Yep.
My opinion, it's not broke, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
Like, when it breaks, then you're on our own computers.
Because we're not talking about like a $50,000 item,
I mean,
we're talking about a
two and one
$1,500
fails, you replace it. And you get to the end of the year and you only replace 1, you budget for 2 again the next year and
Right,
2 fail, you replace it, 3 fail,
Yep.
you replace it.
right.
Yeah.
So
So just Dean kind of works with some of the emergency management stuff, so these are pretty typical. The only reason this is highlighted is because I don't have the new number yet, so it probably will up a little bit. That's based on how much per capita and tax valuation and things like that,
What is
so I
that?
just haven't updated that number yet. That's just what we're required to give based on population.
Right.
Ambulance donation, still have that here.
Is that something that the EMS service asks for? Is that something that should be getting adjusted over time? Can't imagine that ambulance provision is cheaper or the same this year than it was 4 years ago, but so what's the source of?
It's
just
been
contract
10,000
driven?
since I've always been here.
Raise 10,000 that city just donated. Do they spend probably more on that? The answer is probably yes, for ambulance, filling it and.
We've grown a lot in 4 years.
Huh?
We've grown a lot in 4 years.
Correct.
I would think that if they're hurting and they needed more, they would reach out and say, hey, can we
Talk to
increase
us.
it? Do they do a lot of their own fundraising? We don't really don't do
They do.
anything with their budget.
Yeah.
Again, don't really have too many changes. I'm gonna kind of cruise through this, so we don't, so we're not here till 10 o'clock. Again, library is just something that's part of that new contract. I put the new contract amounts in here. So you'll see that information when you see the
For
contract.
the two new members, we dug into this pretty hard the last couple of years. We have to provide a library service.
Okay.
So we do it through NICC. We pay a portion and the county.
It's so much.
And we looked at, we have to have a contract. How's it derived? Why do we spend, at that time, it was like 5 or 70,000.
$84,000 a year.
Right, so some of that money,
Like-
so there's two different pieces to that. We are part of the Dubuque County Library, so it's like Dubuque, or it's Farley, Epworth, Piasta, Galena, Asbury, where they're all part of one big conglomerate. So but most of those funds go directly to the Dubuque County Library Association. But then since we don't actually have a building, we have NICC, they have staff, they have expenses, they have overhead. So then a certain portion of that money also goes to NICC directly. And that information
Seems
was.
excessive, but we thought so. We tried to see if we could change it or
And
not have
the
it.
piece that goes to the Dubuque County Library is based on per capita, so please don't.
And you guys check with like Epworth and stuff, and this is in line with what they're paying, or?
It's a per capita, it's just based on your population, you don't get
It's
to
sort of
choose.
dictated at the county level. It might be interesting. This is one of those things in the future. It's like, as the state is encouraging counties and things to share services. I mean, maybe that is something that we could share with another town sort of deal. I mean, NICC's facility is great, right? So it's, but that's a classic place for kind of a shared service if we have to.
Yeah, and so that, on the next agenda, you'll see the documents, you should have access to those, to look over those if you have any questions on those. There's a contract that we do, a new contract every couple of years. So if, we don't want to, we have questions, they said they would come in and talk to us of it.
For a library?
For the library,
Yeah, good.
otherwise, if
Let's
you
do
want,
it.
if you want to talk to them, if you don't have questions on the contract, then we don't need to have them come in.
Weren't they coming either way because they want to get some paperwork? Isn't that what you and I talked about?
Well, Kathy says that last time it took longer to get the work. I was involved last time and it was done way earlier than it is now. This is the first they're presenting it to us.
And they're in a
So
hurry.
it's not on us.
They want to get it
So,
back, so we
We,
can sign it that night.
if we sign it and seal it and are approve it on the 13th, there's no need for them. Unless you all feel there's a need that you want them to come.
I see those little houses with all books in them, the big one.
Yeah,
That doesn't count for the
That's-
candidate.
Yes, they count for a library.
Because we talked about, they thought about coming Tuesday, right?
They were gonna come the 27th.
They weren't gonna come on the 13th.
No, they basically said, we'll be there on the 27th. And we said, well, we don't have questions. We can get it
Well,
approved.
then do we want,
I think that's good.
do we want to approve it before we have questions?
No,
That's my point. So we don't want to have that on the 13th.
Well, I understand. Yeah, I just didn't know if there were gonna be questions, if there was a need for them to want to come in.
if we did have dialogue with them, we could at least say, what are you thinking about in terms of consolidation of services and how do you problem? And, we just see the,
Right, I think that's what the Dubuque County Library sort of is, though, is a. If you go to the library and say, hey, I want this book, they'll say, okay, that book is in Galena, we'll get it over here.
so ours is going up because our population's going up.
Well, and-
And then we pay a rental fee in NCC. Is that what the 6,100 is over there? It's in the-
I'll have to look at the contract again.
No, the.
Yeah, I don't know what that
comment,
breakdown, I
there was
don't know what that breakdown number is.
It was.
That's 13 something for that and the other calculation.
There's 3 computers, furniture, miscellaneous items, fee,
The next one.
rental 13,300.
Yep, so that's Pat. Yeah, I just didn't update that since the contract, we just got it. So it's 100% up to you. If you want to have them come in and then entertain and ask questions, you can. If you don't have questions and don't need to hear from them, then we can go ahead and, John, do you know if they've ever come in before?
They've never come in when I've been here.
Okay.
I think it might not be,
They could
think
educate
it'd be
us a
a good
little bit
idea.
and we could ask questions about future planning
Yeah.
and stuff.
I think before we approve.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it'd be bad.
Okay, yeah, so I'll just
Big number.
we'll just let them know that we're gonna push it all back and we'll have them come and present, talk about it, and then.
And maybe just give them a heads up what we're looking for, is like, why is this such a big number, where does this stuff come from? Yeah.
Google makes me believe that they spent 4.5 million in 2023.
Yeah.
On the Butte County Library Services.
Yeah.
Big number.
Salaries.
All right, Stacy's up next here. I don't know if you want to touch on anything. A lot of it is just kind of the same types of things.
Your staffing model basically staying the same?
It
Next
is, and I
fiscal
think,
year?
sort of, I think there's some questions with staffing in terms of. Obviously, once the pavilion opens, how are we going to clean? How are we going to do those kind of things? And also field prep, that kind of stuff. As of right now, my mower is coming back. So we don't plan on adding PCC stuff to, I believe, contract, if that's how we're moving forward again next summer, with the rest of the mowing. So it should be comparable. Hopefully I can find someone to do a little more than what we had last year, to do, like I said, field prep and then whatever we have to figure out at the pavilion to clean, maintain, etc.
And this is bumping up because we are contracting that lawn mowing now. It's gonna be part of it anyway.
The only, like, if the number's still there, the shock and awe number.
I was getting there.
Um,
This was a piece of it too, but I think that's for Kelly.
Yeah, I think that once, like, the GL accounts that Kelly Oaks is currently in is 319, so we're not there yet. Once it's open, everything gets shifted back to 430, so everything will be in parks. And so, we kind of started shifting for next fiscal year to start doing some of that for all the additional resources we need to kind of finish off the park there. The shock and awe number is the capital outlay, 364. That is completely crazy. But NXCC had provided a list of things they would like to see done at the field, and based on previous quotes that I've received, that's kind of where this came from to do their wish list. I don't know where discussion stands. Russ, I don't know if you know anymore where discussion stands.
We did have a meeting back in December.
Yeah,
They will be coming to the February work session.
okay,
So
okay.
we will have some more discussions at that time. So yeah, we did see the wish list at that meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think their total came to like 1.3 if you did everything.
Well, so yeah, depending on what it was, but yes.
So yeah, so we've had discussions.
Does this wish list, is that including the screen or the baseball field?
Miscellaneous.
Oh, it
maintenance,
was-
repair of
so-
nets.
Yeah, the netting was a quote that I received probably 5-6 years ago.
What was that number?
I think it was like 180, 200,000 ish of that. I would have to, don't quote me on that. I need to for sure back up. What I will say though is, like, when I talked to, I want to say it was Justin, and when I talked to, I think Gary McAndrew, they said that whether it was Farley or Epworth, I'd have to confirm, but one of them just did a system and they said they did it for a lot cheaper than that.
Gary,
Yeah.
Gary.
Half of the numbers. you were
Yeah.
talking.
yeah, he
And so
was
I
good
don't
at our
know.
meeting in December. He's gonna dig into that.
Beautiful. Yeah. No. So yeah, I know that number, like I said, it's a shock and awe number. That's more discussion. I didn't ever actually think that we would.
So how do we handle something like this from a budget standpoint? Because we're in discussion and, there's a lot of different ways it could go.
Right.
Yeah.
Pieces of this might fall to us or not, or they might be completely different. I'm uncomfortable like budgeting the whole thing when we don't know what the plan is.
But
And-
we have some time, so like, we have,
We have till April.
we're gonna go,
Yeah,
well, March.
March,
February.
end of March, it has to be.
Yeah, so
turned in.
maybe like by the end of February, beginning of March, so because March
I
is when we have to
don't
send.
know
this-
that
We'll have an answer.
everything will be done.
Well,
Probably
and we
won't.
need a clearer number too. I mean, if it's
Right.
for sure moving forward, this is,
Right.
like I said, rough numbers from me calling different reps I've used to do different things that they've done, whatever. These aren't like, we're doing this project, please take time to give me an official quote.
Well, this is because we're chatting with NICC about doing their
Correct.
baseball and.
And this was just
You have to make to sort of field.
Spiegel.
Possibly.
And this didn't include changes that need to be taken to the softball field. It's a bigger conversation, but yeah, this didn't include softball field stuff, so.
So I would propose just taking it back to the minimum that we need to have, and we can always decide later, and then you can approve it and then we can amend the budget later.
Yeah, if we approve something at council, we amend the budget, right?
Oh, yeah, like I said, I never actually thought.
Let's prove.
Right.
Because again, we're saying there's nothing that softball fields are interested in.
Right. And just timing wise, Stacy, like
Yep.
I'm trying to remember which season we were talking about. The earliest they could come back was.
I think they're a 2-year contract.
They're in
Right,
your
so
contract.
it'll be in this
This
fiscal year,
is
like
their
the fall.
this spring will be their first season in baseball.
So really.
Right.
Until the following
Fall.
fiscal year,
Fall.
they want to start using.
Started in fall, but this is the first spring baseball season.
Oh, yeah, we would have to do it.
So it would have to be done.
But yeah, it has to be done in this fiscal year if, depending on
Where it ends up.
where it ends up. But if we're still owners of the field, then it has to be done, if we're gonna have them move here. For their,
Did they ever talk field rent then? Like I said, this is a different conversation.
we've
but-
talked,
Even broader concepts. than
it's
that.
30,000, 10,000 square foot, 10,000.
Yeah, all the things.
It's just where that's gonna land. I mean, the three main things are field lease, shared,
Yep,
and outright sales.
we can have what you put up. Yep.
So, but the toss in is they want to do the soccer field too, so. And Steve Thompson has some ideas about how to make that. So, just so you know.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I think our meeting was like the 19th of December, so.
that's fine.
Anyway, so I think leave it alone for now.
Like put it down for now, or leave it alone.
Leave it alone for now. I don't think we don't have enough information to change it to anything.
Well, and I
Well,
feel like we
I'm
can
saying
just put it back, I'll probably just put it back to 10 because it's a general fund, it has a big difference on the general fund. Look at this number over here and my.
Right. It has
Pretty
a
much
huge
that
impact
amount.
on the,
Oh,
but we'll spend something.
So, but I'll put 10,000 in there and then I'll
Just do
make
that?
the notes on.
Leave it at the 364.
I feel like it's a 364 without a defined plan, so I don't do it. What can we do, in the middle of the fiscal year if we decide we
We
want to
can
make
amend the budget.
investments in there?
You can amend the budget
So,
anytime you want.
I take it to the minimum then, and, right, we evaluate at the time that the city decides to make an investment.
We have.
Because that's 364
And
without.
then we
a
determine
dynamite
where we
plan,
want to, where we're
timeline.
going to take those funds, because right now we're negative in the general fund from year over year.
Yeah,
Right, we're spending more than what our revenue is, so we need to figure out where we're gonna pull those funds for the revenue.
doesn't mean we wouldn't do it. I mean, once we have a plan with NICC or whatever we.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll change it to 10, but I'll put the notes for this over here on the side. Programs, Stace, I don't think there was anything,
nothing crazy.
nothing crazy or nothing big changing for expense portion of it. Fitness,
Nothing crazy.
look less actually, that's good. Center. It's been so long since we looked at that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything crazy outside our norm, for capital, once we get down there. There's a few things that I listed as like earmarked things. The pad leading to the center on the lower level, needs to get redone, like I just don't want someone to trip over the cracks.
Yeah.
And then the sidewalk to the school was kind of one of those things we floated. I think we talked about it even as a council, back when we talked about landscaping and such. But yeah, I'm kind of torn on the sidewalk to the school. I do believe that it's a safer way, cleaner way for them to get from the school to the community center and from the community center to school. The amount of kids that use the facility before and after is a lot.
It's great. Yeah.
If someone was gonna try to talk to the pep group or talk to the school.
Yeah, and I haven't reached out yet. I will talk to them. I don't believe that they'll, but I will talk to them as far as their thoughts on it as well. I don't know.
Do they pay fees to participate in the after-school program?
There
Here.
is no after school program.
So they're members.
They're members. Correct.
So,
And then there's also.
but I think this
moving
might go
the
into
snow
a
and stuff.
conversation, we may or may not want to have here. I mean, I know they don't want to pay, or I don't want to pay.
Yeah.
But they're not maintaining the parking lot,
Correct.
they're using the parking.
Correct.
Right, so I mean, it's, okay, this can't be all
Yeah.
us, it's not,
They
it's not us.
line up on the city
This is a-
street,
this is a party
use the
system.
city parking lot.
We even talked about, because my biggest signing Dean up for more work. That's my biggest, like
No.
the
To move the
sidewalk
snow,
itself,
right.
8 months,
Yeah,
9
it's
months
the
of the
maintenance.
year, I think is an amazing idea. The days it snows where we have to get that cleared out for the kids to be able to get to safely then, because once it's there, we have to do it, maintain it. That's the part that to add that list. Oh, by the way, before school starts, make sure this is spick and span. I don't know that I could go with a shovel or even whatever, or my staff to be able to
I
maintain.
mean, that's the negotiation part.
Right.
Well, so we talked about that too. We kind of, Dean said too, but they use a truck and a blade. And so they said if we did a 6-foot sidewalk, that then they just tear up everything.
Too
for
wide.
minutes.
They were.
Well, but again, that's the,
So how
that's
do
the.
they do their front sidewalk?
It's really wide.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know they do their major, like the sidewalk down below here. They do all that with the truck.
I mean, which is fine and dandy, but that's part of the negotiation. We pay for it, we clean it. You figure out how to clean it. Don't tear up our ground.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I can definitely start that conversation. Like I said, I think that I believe a conversation would 100% happen.
All the kids come bring a shovel.
Do you have a breakdown, or
Recess.
do you know what it would be like just to break these
I
items
don't
down?
have specific.
So 50,000 is just a guess, kind of.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. My capital is always, I think there's always stuff that I never specifically say it's this exact amount. For the lights in the gyms reason, like there's just things
Should
that
have
come up
something in there.
that I like to have, so I'm not going deeper in, and if I
Okay.
don't spend it, amazing. But if I need to spend it, it's not a huge buffer. If we do both those projects, it's not.
Do you think 50 will cover both?
I do.
All right, this is just PCC building itself. We don't take a lot of items out of here, but they're just more like maintenance type things. Insurance, that kind of thing.
I was gonna say just a history on this too for the newbies. 499 was created towards the end of Whitney's administration when she was here as administrator, to see truly how much it costs just to turn the lights on in the building. Like to just open the building, nothing to do with PCC, City Hall, like just to turn the lights on, heat the building is why 499 was created. So it's just kind of a cleaner picture to see like, okay, this
True
is the
cost of
facility and how
operation.
much it costs to run.
Just the
This-
PCC, because yeah, the city hall and then the banquet room takes on some of those. So this is just that portion of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a percentage comes out, but gives you a clearer picture of the building itself. So anyway.
Do we want to, we talked about moving this up there too.
Well, so yeah, and then special events, fireworks, for whatever reason, our Piasta Days donation comes from PCC to pay for the fireworks, so. Let's keep to last
Yeah.
on that one.
Yeah,
Has to be somewhere, but
Yeah, exactly.
parks or.
well, there's another area miscellaneous, like where we would do like community beautification. Right here. So,
What's that? I'm sorry.
you know,
Okay.
this was the one bigger thing here that, to do the comp plan, and I thought it would be about $25,000.
Updating the comprehensive plan, city.
When was the last time we did one?
No,
I did one when I first got on 8 years ago.
Was that RG, the full company? Is that what that was?
For me, so.
They do the comp plan, or was that water?
Remember?
Water 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
feel like it's on our website.
It's RDGs.
If I can't get an answer, I can get an answer.
This was in
It's
our,
not an emergency.
this was in our 2-year plan that we wanted to
Yeah,
do this.
okay, yeah.
It's so probably.
I'll look it up and let you know.
Okay, no worries.
And then we have payment 5 to GDDEC.
No, E, just GTDC.
GDDEC. Yeah,
Today, just showed up.
we already had it out there. We must have sent it again.
What's that for?
We are contributors to the Greater Dubuque Development Corp to assist us in
Economic development.
Does it pay for itself?
debatable.
But what we have done recently is we had our own Piasta Economic Development Group that really, I mean, didn't really develop into, no fault of their own, a full-fledged development group, and some of the stuff that they would try to do is probably redundant with things GDDC is already doing. GDDC does a lot of polling and talking to industry and business and have a lot of data. And so we got their attention a couple of years ago, and they've been much more attentive. I think they've been good partners. They've been attentive. They've come to a couple work sessions, and they've prospected some of the big development conversations that come up out here. They always go through there anyway.
If I'm not mistaken, if I remember right, they're part of the reason Route 2's here.
Yep. So
They work closely with a lot of businesses in town, doing a lot of surveying on what
they have such
what
a
they need, what they're.
tri-state region focus, and Piasta's the growth area. So we're in the conversation.
Come and updated with what they're doing, so.
So the Piasta Group is flexing to more of a community business chamber alliance kind of thing. They didn't necessarily have all the same background, economic development background and capabilities and tools that GDDC does. So I think we consolidated there. Fair. Yep.
These aren't really changing.
Where did that cash go off in council? Holy cow. Wow.
Add an iPad in there. Our member. Yeah, we have money.
We had it.
And then this is administrative. City Hall, essentially. I'm just scrolling, so there's not really any.
The technology service expense line, 279. That's related to the changeover in the contract to
Yeah,
the
probably
group we're with
remote.
now.
Yeah, it's not ITS anymore, it's managed solutions, but
Well,
yes.
yeah, that number bumps around year to year. It's dog license expense.
Yeah.
You're home.
Yeah, that's here now.
Yep.
People are calling, do I need to license my dog?
We're proud.
Probably very happy to hear that they did.
There.
This is where we could definitely put the fireworks in this area.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Miller of a miscellaneous. It's kind of where we do the unification if we have to do anything. And then like nuisance abatement, and we have to hire out to mow lawn, then we take it out of here and then we reimburse it back into a reimbursement GL under the same 699. We don't really need to go too deep into transfers today, but a transfer basically for the guys that are newer is kind of a way for us to pull money from one account and transfer it to kind of put it into a reserve account. So every year we put, right now it's 25,000 for the car. We proposed 30,000 here just because the cost of them are going up. Also, we're putting 10,000 aside into the city hall reserves, and you'll see different transfers, but kind of just to try to save for when we have large expenses that we need. And then part of every membership goes towards the capital reserves for the community center. So that's kind of the breakdown of those numbers.
Transfer just set money aside for a rainy day.
Kind of, yeah. Yep. But we can't just do that. They have to be approved by the budget on the budget.
It comes out of like this year's operating funds, and you're putting it in a reserve account for a particular future use.
Certainly.
Police, city hall, whatever. So we don't
And it goes into like a different GL so that.
think of it almost as retained earnings, but for a purpose. Someplace.
So all these accounts, these funds will have money in them, but they're all in one checking account essentially. But this kind of separates it out so that we know what we have set aside. Here I plugged in 25,000 for public works and the building and for equipment, 10,000 for the police department, 10 for the fire department. I have 10,000 there also. because I have it up above. And then I have some money in there where I'm kind of guesstimating what we'll need for trails out of franchise fees.
What are we estimating franchise fees will be at next year? Because this is the expense line. This is what we're applying it to. There it is. So there's more in that expense than there is in the franchise.
Yeah, this is kind of an unknown. We just started
Just
getting
starting.
3% this month from Black Hills, so I should have.
Okay.
And update that a little bit better.
Right, it's close.
But we're starting with money in there. You know what I mean? So we might
Yeah,
be
so
taking
fun.
more out than we're putting in, but we're starting with money in there.
Franchise fees, that's a money we get from,
Black Hills, Macocata Valley, and Alliant Energy. So it's part of a,
and they charge us as residents.
It's like an added fee
Yeah,
on the residential
on your
bill
bill,
for
yeah.
their access to the easement. Those things, and then we're able to use it for
So the
particular
residents, like-
purposes. We can't use it for anything. It's specified the things, but like we could use it for a trail or a sidewalk or road repair. So,
and we just increased them. So they're all 3%. Community center, I don't remember, Stace, if there's anything
Nothing crazy.
crazy, just not your normal expenses.
I didn't even get it for PCC.
Roads, so this is the road use, so for newbies, that there's kind of a roadway general roadway stuff, construction, maintenance on roads, then we have a street lighting category. Traffic control and safety, so signs, things like that, and then snow removal, so. The money that we essentially, in theory, use this for is the road use fund, so there's road use taxes. Every month, the state sends us typically around $25,000 to $27,000 in road use funds that we then have to use for this 110. So this 110 is all roads, so we can't use that for anything but our roads. Sometimes what we collect in road use funds does not cover everything that we have for expenses. So sometimes we have to pull from the general fund or do some transfers to make sure, depending how much stuff, how much snow flies and how much Dean's guys have to do on the roads and if we're gonna do any overlay and things like that. So we'll just kind of cruise through this. This is again new. I moved it to a different spot, so it's just new there because it's zero now because I moved it from place where we
There
were.
will be additional expense on the one on the right of
Yeah.
ways as well.
Yeah, and we're gonna have
Considering the
to,
properties we took on of Callahan's and then
yeah,
possibly a little bit on.
yeah. So we're gonna work on the
Spot.
map and then we have to go back out to bid and see, what that's gonna be. So I can bump these up a little bit. Dina and I can talk about what we think we might wanna bump them up.
we have enough in there at the bottom for capital line. Right there, 41,000 capital outlay. I mean, that's for
Well, this is
the hydrovac.
well, here's where we've been
Road
looking at, like,
construction.
for some overlays.
Yep.
And then this was, yeah, for, if we're gonna look at doing a hydrovac this year, it'd be a third of it coming out of here.
Which is in that fund now. So we're projecting to spend 250. And then how much comes into it a year and goes out? Like fund balances to me are important because we want to make sure we preserve enough for unknown things, but at the same time, it's there to use. So the reason I'm bringing it up is because roads maintenance was, in our top 5 in our planning kind of stuff. So I want to make sure if we have the fund balance there to do it, that we're
Right.
trying to do it.
So I have in here in the budget 267 for revenue. Quite a bit more.
Okay.
I don't have that another number that you're looking for, so I'll have to look and see I don't have it in here. I don't have an estimate on it. I haven't got
Of
that.
how much comes in
Yeah,
there in a
don't
year?
know how much I think we're gonna start with at the beginning.
Okay, yeah,
So-
starting fund balance, ending fund balance.
Yep, I just haven't put those estimates together yet. I should be able to have those for next time.
Right.
Kind of give it to you, cause I know that was a big deal last year, like, where are we starting, where are we ending? Where are we gonna be? Yeah, and that may make a difference on, I don't think there's anything. Dean, there was a couple of streetlights,
Yeah,
right?
so street lighting, some of you might notice, recognize, excuse me, Pat Simon, I believe we had on there last year. That was kind of caught off guard with Slavic's Phase 4 development. We have to provide the light heads for that. And then AJ's development up there as well. So that burnt up about $24,000 worth of lighting. Therefore, I held off on the Pat Simon just to try to maintain that budget this year. Also threw some additional lighting in there for Cox Spring for the trail part.
Yep.
And then the possibility of the trail that would go down to Kelly Oak as
Yeah.
well.
That'll need.
Nothing earth shattering under traffic control and safety. Snow removal is always kind of a crapshoot, right? Last year was
Yeah, I mean,
really good.
as far as salt numbers, I mean, we really can't get no salt numbers. We combined with the city of Dubuque to get a volume rate on that as well. They usually won't commit to any prices until about May before they'll actually give us next year's prices on salt. So that allows us enough time to determine how much we're going to use throughout the year too, and how much we're going to carry over on reserve. So.
And then we're looking at, or he has in here a request for a dump truck, 60% of it coming out of roads.
The other 40%.
That one dump truck, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I believe it's, I'll scroll down. I think we have it coming out. It's either water or sewer. Maybe, I think we even put a little bit under garbage.
Sewer and garbage.
Right.
No, that was it. Where the rest of.
Where the rest of the 282 is, yep, yep.
But.
And we talked about, is that 282, Dean, is that covering the cost of just the truck, or that's the truck and the
That'd be the truck and the setup.
setup, okay. Which potentially would
I can get
be
some more.
until the following year, right?
I can, yeah, more than likely, I can get some harder numbers on that as well too, if, when we get closer to deciding whether that's gonna be something we're gonna commit to or not.
These are again transfers, so once we determine how much we're gonna levy for the employee benefits, we'll do that. Local option sales tax, you know, in the past, we've done the 100,000 to Kelly Oaks, that's gonna be done after this year. I just kind of plugged in, I mean, 50,000 is what we typically do to general. This year, we decided we're probably not gonna need that. We may or may not. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I just put, you know, maybe we should look at putting money for road reserves, to kind of focus on streets next, kind of that 100,000 that we were taking to Kelly Oaks.
Focus on trails
I was gonna say,
as
can I put in
another option.
my plug to say, I think
Yep.
we should keep putting something in parks. It doesn't have to be 100,000, it doesn't have to be Kelly Oaks,
I
but
think.
I think the reality is when the next one comes, we're not going to be ready for it. If we can do something's better than nothing. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah,
That's my
I mean,
plug.
some additional park development, which in my mind includes the trail system idea and sidewalks where we want them. So I don't think we want to fund nothing. Go from 100 to 0.
Yeah.
That's not.
Right, cause
forward.
I perceive once we get this taken care of, we'd like to see maybe some
And it's,
parks throughout different.
it's one of the eligible things that we can use local option sales. Affecting everybody that's spending money here. This is what they said they wanted. And
Right.
I think we want to do that.
We're in there, 150.
We've been doing 100 toward Kelly Oaks development, right? And we haven't done any other parks development really, other than what we bundled together to get the sidewalk done, you know, and.
Right, I mean, we're definitely taking more out of loss this year for that and
Mhm.
franchise fees to finish.
To finish the capital
Finish it,
phase of
right.
it.
And we don't have to decide anything right now,
We've been doing 100, is there a reason we
Yeah,
want doing it?
I
because we
keep
need
funding.
streets repaired.
That's fair.
I mean, I get it, but we all have to drive on the street. Only streets have been kind of shoved down.
We've been putting them off.
We've been
Yeah.
putting it off too long.
We need to start some money aside.
And I'm not saying not to put anything into parks, I'm just
No, I
saying,
think
we need to,
I think they need.
Our budget was
I mean,
in
we're
twenty
putting $1
twenty-six.
million into a pavilion, we need to be able to figure out how the people are gonna justify that with. We need better streets, our streets need to be repaired,
I have a street to get there.
right?
Gotta have a sidewalk to get there.
We will.
I just think,
No, I don't
I
think
think
we should-
roads is super important, so let's look at the. How much do we want to deplete and spend? Let's focus
Trying to
on.
balance that.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, we need some roads.
So I'll kind of
Yeah.
at the end of the year, and then we can kind of break it down.
Okay.
That's why I didn't really fill anything in, just kind of plug in some numbers.
Yeah.
This is just, TIF, so it's not really,
I don't know if we want to look at Kelly Oaks being necessarily completed after
Right.
after this project either. I mean, as the mayor, we just talked, prior to the meeting starting, the request for lighting and such and fiber and cameras and whatnot out there. I mean, I know that's, some, high wants, maybe not necessarily needs at this point in time, but I mean, it's not something that we want to neglect either,
Yeah, we
future.
Right, it's not gonna be done, it's gonna be.
Yeah, we had-
It's a tough.
We had
Right.
interesting,
Right, and I think that's gonna be a high cost, I mean, if we're looking to light that up out there, you take, between the poles, lamp bases, and just getting the actual, conduit line in place, it's gonna be a pretty significant expense.
and I think then for the trail, we talked about going the other direction to try to get it down. Now it goes for the kids to get to school safely, but keep
Exactly.
continuing in that direction, so we can eventually,
Long range.
That's gonna be year after year for a while.
Yep.
there was also
People that-
discussion about the possibility of having electricity
That's,
available other places in the park.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're,
Yep.
not just to the pavilion.
Correct, correct, but on the trail.
That'll
Yep.
leverage our ability to use the park in a lot of different
Right.
ways.
Correct.
So,
Utilize that trail more so than just
Yep.
seasonal.
yep. Would be great. Would be great.
Again, transfers for debt service, transferring from the TIF fund. There are payments for the year for our debt, which is bond debt, just bond debt. And these are just kind of estimates, so the numbers that Stacy has and that we kind of put together when we were kind of looking forward to the future. This is kind of what we've plugged in for everything, so. It's that. I don't know what this is gonna be, or I haven't talked to Steve really to kind of get an idea, but this is what's kind of left as of right now on our PSA that we have.
Yeah.
We may have more expenses come out yet this year. But together, that's where we're at. We still have that $40,000 kind of left in the bond from 2023 that was earmarked for a traffic study.
That was done, right? Was completed.
Is it all done? Okay, because I don't
But-
know.
Wasn't it? Isn't that the traffic study we did this
completed.
last year? We just haven't gotten a report. We haven't gotten a report
Okay.
by the DOT.
So we probably haven't paid for
I
it.
don't
Maybe it
think-
wasn't paid for, but it should be paid for, and
That's
this
probably why it's still there, but I
Okay.
think the study's done and we haven't seen the report. We won't have to repeat the study.
No. So I'll make a note and then we
Is
can,
that DOT or was that somebody else?
No,
It was private.
yeah, it's
So that's something.
B&K did.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Yes, because they had some interns,
Yep. Interns are back on the payroll right now. I was talking to Steve the other day.
Perfect.
all right.
Are they?
And then this is the trail separate from the park.
Right.
Yep. So the piece from Kelly Oaks to Seton. Water. I think.
Your regs are in there.
Trying to remember what. A third of the hydrovac was coming out of here, correct, Dean?
correct.
Otherwise, there wasn't any other, if you can remind me, any other huge
Not large expenses.
expenses. Otherwise, it's pretty much just the norm.
Just
Of them
a
now.
big project, just a really big project.
Not saying there won't be any unexpected ones, but
And then sewer, and this is where we have the other third of the hydro back, just kind of a little bit of money for some unplanned replacements, and we know that we've had some of those things.
See where the.
And the dump is right here,
25%.
25
Oh,
of the dump.
Did we say 15%?
So we don't have anything budgeted in there for Kelly Oaks connection, sanitary sewers, that's because.
'Cause it was done this
already
year.
done. There won't be anything else for pump or sewer or anything for the functioning of the pavilion
That was all figured in on.
on the project?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Because again, this is the SRF debt service. And then we have garbage. The rest of the dump truck. A couple of years ago, we were kind of in the red on the garbage, and now with getting everything adjusted and letting everybody use the compost and all that, now we have a little bit of, I think the balance in there was around 60, so I felt comfortable, we're using the dump truck a lot to haul that compost to the dump, so we can put some of it in there. And that kind of gets us to the end on the expense side.
Okay.
So next,
Got it all?
got it all?
Should have paid attention to acronyms.
What if it's fun? It's hard to look.
Right.
Yeah.
Hard to look at without seeing these funds, that dollars come in and go out.
Compare the two.
It's not a P and L. It's,
So for next time, I'll definitely have all the revenue pieces in there, and then I'll try to do like estimates of where do we think we're gonna end up in the funds at the end of this year, so we kind of have an idea of how much franchise fee funds and how much law we have to work with to determine
yeah,
where you wanna earmark that money
Yeah.
for reserve.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't go into reserve, maybe it just like
for use.
transfer it into, for
Yeah.
using it that
We
year.
can put it into roads and we can use it for roads and we can,
Quick and dirty, not super quick, but. And you guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to get this all updated and sent out. And then if the two of you have any questions or want to come in and get more information, it's a lot.
I'd recommend scheduling an hour and a half with down and kind of go through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very different, like I came from banking. So when you come into funding, or what's fund accounting and understanding kind of what the funds do and what that. Once you get your head kind of wrapped around it, it makes a little bit more sense. And when I send the next one out, there's some other things in here I haven't completely filled out, like the stuff for the levy information. But there's some notes in here too. It's not in this one, levy info. Down here about like road use and only use for roads. So I'll send this out and it'll help a little bit too. And it says what you can use, based on law, based on what we've adopted, what we can use those monies for.
As long as there's enough income for expenses.
Exactly.
Right.
Until we see the revenue side, we don't really know.
Right.
Genius.
Sense.
And the things to kind of know, like on the water and sewer and even the garbage side, those are all run as proprietary. So the money that we collect for those things has to go back to the money that we use for expenses. So we run it as a business. So we shouldn't have to necessarily transfer money unless it's a big item. But that's what we determine our rates on. So we have to increase the rates. Well, why? Well, expenses were really high the last few years. We have to now increase the rates to cover that.
Projected
Because-
capital expenditure, like.
Right. So it needs to self-sustain. Like it needs to make money or not lose money at least.
Yeah.
So-
Break even.
And in theory, we'd like the roads to do that too, but this is what we get for road use funds, which is
Yeah,
not as so
we have to
expensive.
fund some of it out of our tax levy.
Or if you have questions about the debt that we have and what's an SRF loan, what's a bond, how does that work? Let me know. I don't have anything else though.
All right,
That's enough.
plenty,
That's plenty.
plenty. Good. More to come.
Too fun.
All right, thanks, Marcy.
And everybody has like their little calendar and everybody has a calendar. I gave you guys a copy of it just to kind of give you an idea. There's definitely a lot of deadlines and details as far as when things have to happen in the timeline to make sure that we, keep the state of Iowa happy for when we do all the things, so. I guess, in the past, when we go to close, we make motions and do that, then we come back out, but I don't know if it's a work session, if we can just do it now. And
We
then-
could just end the work session and we can make a motion to go into.
Sounds good, so I'm gonna go ahead and. Nobody there, we're gonna go ahead and end the meeting.
All right, thanks, everybody.